The cost of IT in business can be staggering. From hardware and software expenses to services like internet and phone, you don't need to spend a fortune on IT to succeed. If your organization spends more than $500 monthly on any service, or you're considering signing a long-term contract, IT Enabled can help you manage your technology and minimize your costs. Contact us today to schedule a free consultation. IT Enabled, we're here to help.
Hi, I'm Tara Watson-Watkins, President and CEO of the Lufkin, Angelina County Chamber of Commerce. Welcome to the Connect podcast, connecting business to the community. I'm here today with my co-host, Blake Pollino with BP Media Group.
We are super excited to have Caitlin Kirkland, the owner of Rubie and Jane Formal Wear, the Small Business of the Year winner, here on the podcast this week. Let's jump into her story now.
So Rubie and Jane is the Small Business of the Year.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Still gives me the chills.
I know, it's so exciting. That was a fun night.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about your background and how did you start Rubie and Jane?
Okay, sure. So I grew up in Huntington, just right down the road, of course, in Lufkin my entire life.
Yep.
Took dance classes downtown Lufkin as a young girl and just loved it all. Graduated from Huntington, went to Texas A&M, studied business, and then we moved back to this area. We always wanted to come back here and come back to our families and friends. So ended up back here I graduated from A&M in 2010 and then came back looking for work. Always kind of knew I wanted to be a business owner, just wasn't sure what kind. Didn't know where the cards might fall. Then I was into redoing furniture, doing a little bit of antiquing, just kind of free spirit, not sure where I wanted to be. So at that time I was doing wedding planning with some friends on the side. And
God bless you.
Yes, wedding planning and decorating, I'll say that. So we were actually renting a building in downtown Lufkin, and we were wedding planning one day, maybe headed to Standpipe. I'm not sure what we were specifically doing, but we came around the corner and we saw a sign at Lisa's Bridal that said business closing or closing sale. I don't remember exactly what it said. And I thought, oh my goodness, no, we've shopped there. I bought my wedding dress there. Rachel had purchased a couple of prom dresses. So I was like, no, I don't want them to close. We knew the owners pretty well. And in a month, I owned Lisa's Bridal. So it really happened so fast. It's still kind of a blur. I can't believe just everything that happened. But so formal wear just kind of fell into my lap. And then it was a bridal store and a formal store. Sorry, now mouth's going to dry up.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Over. So then when we purchased the store, Lisa's Bridal was both bridal and formal wear. So we just kind of dived right in. They were kind enough to let one of the employees stay with us for a month and kind of show us the ropes of how it all works. Went to our first market with us and, just kind of gave as much advice as they could in the transition. So, and here we are, 10 years later.
I love that. So where did the name Rubie and Jane come from?
So when we purchased Lisa's, we obviously wanted to change the name. That was the previous owner's name. We really just started brainstorming names and words. For some reason, I was real set on it being one word. I just wanted a simple one word. There were some other stores in town and other bridal shops I had seen. So we just started writing down words, and at some point it just happened. Rubie is my birthstone, but we spelled it a little bit different.
Interesting.
And then Jane is my mother's middle name. So, just as we were brainstorming these one words, for some reason those came up and ended up together. And I doubted it for a while. We decided on it, and I just kept questioning, are people going to think it's a little kid's store? Are people going to, you could interpret it a lot of ways, because I think that, and we were very much in the shabby chic era right then.
Right.
I think it just, at that point, I thought, no, I like these words. I like the name, and I'm going to make it what it is.
In all these years, I never thought about Rubie being the birthstone. I always thought it was probably two middle names.
I thought there was a Rubie and a Jane somewhere in there.
But it never, I never went to Burstone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, yeah.
That's fun.
Interesting.
And of course, we spelled it different, and there was just some kind of weird story at that time of why we used the IE instead of the Y, but it really started as Birthstone.
Interesting.
That's fun.
I love that on the podcast when we talk to small business owners, the naming conventions, like the coming up with a name for a business
Oh, it's
is
so hard.
it,
And the
it
logo
is. Yeah,
and-
it's infinitely fascinating to me
Yes.
just to hear people's thought process on what it goes into it. And now it's even harder now because you're thinking of like when they Google search me, like what's happening, and
Social media.
it's just, yeah, your social media. Is this name already taken on Instagram? Am I going to have to do
Yes.
something? Can I get the website, the .com? Now I'm going to end up with .net for whatever
all
reason.
sound true.
Yeah, it's a wild
We-
process.
We still ended up with a little bit different versions, like our website doesn't include the and because it just wasn't possible. And so it's just Rubie Jane. And, I think that, yes, social media was big 10 years ago, but it's not like it is now.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I can't even imagine the pressure of trying to decide right now.
Yeah, it's
versus
very,
then.
very difficult. So tell us where it is now. So tell us about
Okay, so
where you are now.
Uh,
Not physically where you
Okay.
are, but it's still in the same place.
Yes,
but
yes.
what the business looks like now.
Sure. So, like I said before, it was a bridal store and a formal wear store. Pretty much from the beginning, Lisa's, talked with us about some of the things that they had tried over the years and the ups and downs that they had been through, and especially in the bridal world. So we tried some things on our own for the first few years, just carrying different lines, trying to kind of morph into what we thought would be good for our area, and eventually decided right before COVID that we would phase out the bridal side of our business. We had already introduced ready-to-wear, which is kind of your anywhere from almost casual to semi-formal type dresses, jumpsuits, and rompers for, that are great to wear to a wedding, to a baby shower, to a bridal shower, a banquet, an awards banquet, just
I was going
anything.
to tell you, that's some of my favorite things. I love your ready-wear dresses.
I appreciate that. So honestly, we just kept getting asked for that kind of stuff. And so we started a small section while we still had bridal. But when we finally decided to phase the bridal part out, we were able to really expand on that area. And so that's become, one of the main parts of our business. And then also we offer tuxedo rentals. So we were able to expand on that as well when we changed that. We had Al's Formal Wear in the Lufkin Mall for
a
long time.
Yeah.
I think they were honestly the first they rented the first location in the mall. Like they have been there from the beginning. So that business was going through a lot of changes and phasing out, and they actually called us at some point and, offered us to be a vendor with them. And so we were able to expand on that as well.
That's great.
So that's really, along the way, I would say one of the biggest changes that the business has gone through. And we're happy and so glad for it. And we have a new bridal store in town now, which we think is fabulous.
Yeah.
And it was the prom and the formal wear just seemed to fit a little bit more with everything that we wanted to do and we're passionate about.
Yeah.
So
The wedding industry is also just a wild industry
yes,
to be in. So
it is all very wild. But
yeah.
yes, the bridal industry is very wild.
Yeah.
As I drive through downtown Lufkin, one of my favorite things to do is to look at your windows
Mm-hmm.
because do you change your windows every day?
So the mannequins get changed once a week.
I think it's fantastic.
So it really is more because the sun is extremely bright
Hard
in
on them.
downtown Lufkin, and it takes a toll on the formal wear. So it
That's
really
interesting.
started
Okay.
as because of that.
You
Like
need to
we
save the
cannot
dresses.
leave them in there for longer than a week. And then some materials are a little more prone to fading in the
Okay.
sunlight. So you may notice that there's not a lot of sequins in the window. We don't get to put our fully beaded and sequin gowns in there because some of them will fade even quicker. So if you do see
That
them,
is
it's because we just really love them, and we may keep them in there for just a couple days and then take it out.
Yeah.
But the windows are probably my favorite part of the store.
I love it.
Like it just.
And over the holidays, your window display was absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
It was so much fun. Annalie loves every time we leave church. She's like, drive by the reindeer in the window. She has loved it over the holidays.
Yes,
it was very pretty.
It's so much fun to get to create all that, and then to also figure out how we want to include the formal wear.
Yeah.
In the windows and
Halloween's
and
still
show
my
off.
favorite.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. I think of years ago.
Yes.
She had this dancing skeleton spooky dude, and I was walking in the street. It was a bistro, and that thing scared the daylights out of me. It came out of nowhere, and I screamed at that thing.
Yes, I will never forget showing up that morning to open the shop, and bistro was pretty much set up at that point, and I think you may have been pregnant.
I
with
was
Annalie.
pregnant.
Yes, and you were like, "I'm gonna get you." That scared me so bad.
It was horrible. It almost made me give birth to a child.
That's awesome.
Well, your husband has been a part of the business with you.
Yes.
Tell me about his role in the business.
So, of course, Chris has been right there with me since the very beginning. And, people laugh, or he likes to joke with people that he's the only man in the world with 600 dresses or something like that. He just loves to pick about that. But he really, since day one, this was a commitment that we took on together. And being a small business owner is not a small task. And
True.
It's a lot mentally, financially. You never stop. It takes everything. And so he works in the IT field. So of course he's the person we call for everything. And I like to joke, who would we call if this wasn't working right now and you didn't exist? Who would help us? And for the first time in the 10 years, he went to the big prom market with me in August.
Wow.
So that
fun.
was a very interesting adventure. But he, usually my mom and sister go with me, but they weren't available this time. So he just dove right in and helped me pick out all the dresses for prom 2024. So that was very interesting, but he's always just right there with me. And, he may not be there every day to sell on the floor, but sometimes we get in a pickle in prom season, or a couple of employees are sick, and he'll come check people out all day, or whatever he needs to do.
So I have a question about getting dresses. Do you buy
Sure.
more than one of the same dress?
So as we have grown over the years, we've gotten to the point that we do that now. So in the beginning, I pretty much stuck to that is the only one of that dress that we're going to purchase and have on the sales floor. In one color, one size. And it really is a gamble. You're just sitting there going, okay, this dress is made in 3 or 4 colors. So I have to choose a color and then choose my size I think it's going to work for. But as we've expanded over the years, our customers are coming from all over parts of Louisiana, all throughout Texas. We have a couple of fun stories of just people driving through on their way to, it's spring break and they're headed on vacation, and somehow they end up in Lufkin and are shopping at Rubie and Jane. So you just never know who's going to come shopping. So we were able to expand as far as our inventory, having maybe the same dress in 4 different colors and 4 different sizes, or even maybe all the same color but in different sizes. But for prom specifically, we register the dresses, so we don't sell the same exact dress to the school. So if you come in and you go to Lufkin High School and you purchase that dress in a blue size 4, then we won't sell that dress in blue again to Lufkin. So it kind of keeps track, and that way, we know for
there's
sure
nothing
that
worse than showing up and somebody else has on your dress.
Yes, and
it's horrible.
I can imagine. I can imagine.
Well, you don't want them to have your suit on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're not
That's true.
the groom and the groomsman in the wedding, you really, I don't know, you want to be a little different.
Yeah, that's a really cool program. I never even thought about that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Sure do.
very cool. So you guys have been downtown for 10 years. What's that been like?
It is great. So I know I mentioned earlier I took dance in downtown Lufkin when I was young, I think 3 nights a week at some point, and I just loved everything about it. And I mean, even then it was, there were some things going on downtown, but not a lot. And over the years, it just started to change and to morph into what it is now. Even before Rubie and Jane, before I purchased Lisa's, there was a draw to downtown. I just love the area and I went blank. Sorry.
That's okay.
I just love the area and the atmosphere that it gives. So I was so excited that Lisa's was already there. And with so much square footage in downtown, it gave me the opportunity to stay put after all these years. And now, a lot of other small businesses have been there with me for, the 10 years. And then we have a lot that come and go, but it has just grown, and with help from the city and the chamber and all of these entities who are pouring into downtown Lufkin, it's just really turned into such a neat place for retail and for just the community, you know, for people to come and enjoy special events. And we have so many neat things that happen around downtown, and I don't ever want to move. I want to be right there with my giant windows. And we have so many people who just simply drive through downtown on a daily basis. So that's why it's important to me to have the windows. And they may never step foot in Rubie and Jane, but if I can spread a little joy, just with people driving through, it's just, I don't know, it's really become a neat
You've done
place.
such a great job with downtown. I mean, you have been an integral part of the growing of downtown over the last 10 years, because you really do see the vision of what it could become and what it has become. And you're always coming up with something new to bring in not only local people, but visitors, and to be able to really try to promote downtown. So, we appreciate all that you do for downtown Lufkin, because you really do make it special.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. We have a really good core group of business owners right now in downtown Lufkin who I feel like share that same vision. And so over the last few years, we've been able to come together and just, as new events that are bigger than just shopping, are coming to town, we can brainstorm and think, okay, how can we as retail business owners work together with these big events to create revenue for all of us. And it's been fun. It's neat for there to be changes and different things going on, and we just love downtown Lufkin.
That's so great. That's been a reoccurring theme this month as we've interviewed these award winners, is consistency has been really important. The people who've been consistent in the community. And when I think if you were to just ask me any day, hey, name the businesses that are downtown, Rubie and Jane would be at the top of the list. And I'm not even your target demographic. Not yet. I have a 7-year-old daughter we're getting there real quick. We walk by and she calls you guys the princess store. When we walk by, she loves the windows, but that just speaks to that consistency, to being there and putting in the work year after year as a small business. So for even someone like me who's outside of your demographic, for that to be one of the first ones that I would name is a testament to what you guys do. So we appreciate you doing that, and congratulations on the award. Thanks. So excited to have you guys in that group. And where can people find you? Obviously downtown, but if they want to come and browse your selection, how can they do all that?
So we are probably one of the few rare specialties that does not do online shopping.
Right.
So we have been a brick and mortar since day one and have never morphed into that, but that just kind of works for our formal wear industry.
Yeah.
But you can still browse almost all of the items that we have in the store on our website.
Great.
You just can't actually purchase them through the website. So rubiejane.com is where you can look at all of those things. Now, a lot of times there'll be items that maybe there aren't pictures of, so there is always more in the store, but we try to keep up with as much as we can on the website. And then, of course, social media. So Instagram and Facebook are our big avenues. Do a little bit of TikTok here and there as well. But Facebook and Instagram, just Rubie and Jane Formal is where it's all at.
And they're on the corner of Lufkin and First.
Yes,
That's right.
downtown on the corner of Lufkin and First. And come by anytime, see the windows, say hi.
Very cool.
Come shop.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. We appreciate you.
I appreciate you all so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for listening to the podcast again this week. Truly appreciate your support. If you'll do us a favor and rate and review the podcast wherever you're listening, it just helps other people in our area help to find the podcast and gives it some more visibility to people who want to hear these stories that we release every week. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time. Ooh, thank you so much, and we'll see you next time. Messed that one up.
That's okay.